What's up, guys? It's your pal on Hot Wheels, Corey Hot Wheels, coming at you for another video. And we are going to recap and review both nights of WrestleMania. So, how we're going to do this is I'm going to talk about each match, give my opinion on it, and give it a grade like A, B, C. You get the whole idea. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first match is the world title match between Jey Uso and Gunther. I said this on the first episode of Six Wheels and a Mic that if Jey did not win the title, then I felt that his whole winning the Royal Rumble and the whole build-up would have just been a waste. Jey did come away with the world title. I thought it was a really good match. A lot more moves on Jey Uso's part than what I was expecting. I mean, Jey Uso has tremendously improved in the ring. And I think he has really solidified himself as a singles competitor. I've said it time and time again that I did not think Jey Uso was World Heavyweight Championship material, but in that match last night, he did prove me wrong. However, there is one thing I will criticize in that match. And a lot of people were saying it. I did not like the finish. I mean, I just don't see Jey being a submission guy. I think the better finish would, where he did the 3 splashes off of each corner. I think he should have went in the 4th corner and did another one. Did like the 4 splashes, like the 4 corners, and pinned Gunther after the 4th splash. But nonetheless, minus the finish, I thought it was a decent match. I'm going to give that match a B. And, like I said, great match. I mean, Jey Uso pulled out moves that we've never seen him do before, but the finish was kind of in my opinion, so I give that match a B. The next match is Jade Cargill defeated Naomi. I mean, I was pretty sure that was going to happen. The match wasn't terrible, but, it was really nothing to write home about. They definitely had their good spots in the match. I mean, Jade is improving very well in the ring, selling moves a lot better, and is just constantly improving and getting better. I give that match a C. Like I said, nothing to write home about, but not a terrible match either. Then the other match was El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix. Rey Mysterio was injured on SmackDown and could not compete, so Rey Fenix took the place of Rey Mysterio. Excuse me. I thought it was a really, really good match. A lot of high-flying moves. It was just crazy. The moves that both Americano and Phoenix were pulling off. Though I'm like everybody else. I think El Grande Americano is Chad Gable. I mean, you could the resemblance is clear as day. It's Chad Gable under that mask. But I thought that was a very, very solid match, and Rey Fenix definitely proved he belongs in the WWE. Chad Gable did win the match with that diving headbutt by putting the steel plate underneath his mask. I was thinking that, Americano would be unmasked and it would be revealed as Chad Gable, but it seems like they're going to carry that story a little longer. I am going to give that match a B. No, you know what? No. No, 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 no. I'm going to give that match an A. Very, very good match. I mean, two very great competitors. Chad Gable could just do it all in the ring, and I think he absolutely delivered. So I'm going to give that match an A. Then we had Jacob Fatu capturing the United States Championship from LA Knight. Solid match. I did think the BFT in midair was absolutely amazing. But Jacob Fatu definitely proved what I've seen from his MLW days, that he belongs in the WWE and that he is a future world champion. In my opinion, I think he's currently the best wrestler in the Anoa'i family. So I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna give that match a B. I mean, not match of the night, but it was definitely a solid match. And I think Jacob Fatu is gonna be a solid champion, and I hope he branches out on his own from Solo Sikoa. Because I think Jacob Fatu can definitely hang on his own, and he can cut good promos. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for Jacob Fatu. Then we had Tiffany Stratton. She retained her WWE Women's title over Charlotte Flair. I thought that was absolutely a phenomenal match. Phenomenal build-up. Tiffany definitely proved she belongs in the WWE. And just the amount of time that she's had, I mean, it goes to show that she's had great training. She was trained by Mr. Kennedy in Minnesota. I do think it was Mr. Kennedy. And, of course, her training at the WWE Performance Center. I mean, she proved she belongs. And it was an absolutely solid match. Both women threw everything that they had at each other. I mean, people get tired of Charlotte Flair, but man, Charlotte is, the best woman in WWE. I mean, people could say that she wins too much, she's overrated, but the girl can freaking wrestle her ass off. I mean, and it was just an amazing match, and I give that match a solid A. So, then we had the New Day. They defeated the War Raiders to win the tag titles. Solid match between two very, very solid teams that have great chemistry. I love what this heel run is doing for the New Day. I think it has just revamped their careers. Not like the heel run in 2015 when they were still like the jokey unicorn gimmick style stuff. And I think, that gimmick worked for a while, but it definitely ran its course. And, I'm really excited to see what the New Day does as heels, as now 12-time tag team champions. The only thing I did not like is I get it, they're heels, but I don't think Kofi needed to hold down Ivar's leg. I think the foot stomp finisher that Kofi and Xavier use, I think that would have done just fine. Ivar sold the finish, so I'm going to give that match, I'm going to give it a B. It was a good tag team match, but, similar to the Jey Uso Gunther match, I just did not care for the finish. Then, the main event. Oh boy. That match was awesome. The story that Roman, Punk, and Seth told, oh my god. Absolutely amazing, absolutely phenomenal. Oh my goodness. Just the things that these three did to each other, I was excited for it the minute it got announced. I knew it was going to happen after the Rumble, and man, oh man, did that match deliver. You know, we all knew that Paul was going to turn and align with Seth, but it just, even though we all kind of predicted it was still a sweet finish, and I loved it. I thought it was great. So, that match gets an easy A from me. So, with that said, that's night 1. Now we're into night 2. We had the women's world title triple threat, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. Did not disappoint at all. Absolutely awesome match. 3 of the best women in the WWE right now. And, you know, just the way that they showcased Io over the weekend and they told Io's story. You know, I was thinking Bianca was going to come out champion, but then, you know, the more they told Io's story about being the underdog and everybody overlooking her, I'm like, Io needed to win this match. And I think it was just absolutely amazing match. And it proved that Io definitely belongs and, you know, was just not a transitional champion. So, I really liked the match. I give that match a solid A. Then we had the Intercontinental Championship, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Braun Breaker. I think I might have said Braun Breaker twice. I don't know. But I thought that match was incredible as well. You know, I was excited for that match. You know, Braun Breaker spearing Carlito just never gets old. And, you know, and it seems like the crowd really took to Dominic winning that match. And I think Dominic deserved it. And, you know, and I'm sure him and Ray had an emotional moment backstage off camera. You know, so I thought that was an amazing match. I give that match an A as well. Then the Sin City Street Fight. Oh boy. That was incredible. I mean, Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest just beat the utter hell out of each other. And I loved it. You know, just the build up to it, and you know, it was a great match by 2 of the best guys on the roster right now. And I give that match an A as well. I mean, it was just a really good, solid match. Then we had the women's tag title, Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Lyra Valkyria, and the returning Becky Lynch. I predicted it was going to be Becky be her tag partner. You know, I'm not mad that Lyra and Becky won. But, and this is all just opinions, because, you know, we don't know really where they're going with this. But, if they did have Lyra attack Bayley, which I think they did, I think the better finish would have been having, you know, Liv pin Becky off that Oblivion, because nobody would have expected that. And then, you know, Becky look all defeated, and she's apologizing to Lyra, like, I'm sorry, and, you know, Lyra's like, it's all good, and then, you know, when Becky goes to walk out of the ring, Lyra turns around and just blasts her with the championship. I thought that would have been a better finish if they're going the route that Lyra was the one that attacked Bayley. But I give that match a B, you know. A good match, you know, 4 great wrestlers, you know. I just would have done a different finish and wrote it differently. But, you know, we'll have to see where they go from here with Lyra, Becky, and Bayley. Then we had Randy Orton come out and issue his open challenge. And that was none other than TNA champion Joe Hendry. You know, I thought it was cool they had TNA champion showcased at WrestleMania. You know, I didn't think Joe Hendry was going to win the match. You know, Joe Hendry prosed, and then Randy Orton struck him out of nowhere with an RKO. I give the match like a C. You know, both men, you know, they threw haymakers at each other, but it was definitely not, you know, a 5-star match. I don't think Joe Hendry was buried, you know. And, you know, Randy Orton, even after that second RKO, still showed him respect. So, you know, it was a good stepping stone in getting, you know, TNA showcased on WWE's biggest stage. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. You know, Logan Paul, regardless of what you think of him personally, you know, he's a phenomenal wrestler. He has taken the WWE by storm and just delivers every time he goes out. I personally had AJ on my bingo card to win, but, you know, the involvement with Karrion Kross, you know, I'm glad that they're, you know, involving Karrion Kross, and, you know, it seems like they're going to continue that story with him and AJ Styles. I give that match a B. You know, not a 5-star match, but, you know, I'd say 3.5, 4 stars if we're rating it on star rating. But I give that match a B. Then we had the main event. The one we've all been waiting for. John Cena looking to win a record-breaking 17th title versus Cody Rhodes. I don't think the match was bad. You know, it started off a little slow, but, you know, that was just John Cena playing the heel. The match definitely picked up. But Travis Scott, oh my God. Travis Scott does not need to be anywhere near a damn wrestling ring. He just took forever and a freaking day to walk out. And I'm just like, oh my. You know, I didn't mind the belt and the low blow being the finish. Because, you know, Cena used heel tactics to win, and it didn't make Cody look weak. You know, the fact that Cody kicked out of 4 AAs made Cody look pretty damn strong in the match. But my boy John Cena captured 17th, minus Travis Scott and his dumbass entrance. You know, I'm going to give that match a C. You know, it started off slow, it picked up a little bit, but Travis Scott, oh dear God. Thank God Cody Kross roached his ass, because Travis Scott does not belong anywhere near a wrestling ring. But, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it. That is my recap and review of WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. Hopefully you enjoyed. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Oh, and Happy Easter, by the way.